Chapter 30, Creating Assembly Drawings. Testing. Alright, Chapter 30, Creating Assembly Drawings. Most of the actual tools you might use for the part drawing, assembly drawing with a few exemption chapters cover the exemptions along with some of the special techniques you might make the assembly drawings easier or clearer. In this chapter, you will learn to merge properties of assembly in one drawing, use merge page 2 formats, work with the drawing, use the special assembly functions, work with drawings in large assemblies. Combining parts and assemblies on the same drawing. Every company seems to have it differently with respect to the assembly drawing. Some of the use the extremely bill of materials illustrated some of the manufacturer assembly instruction. Some of the assumption assembly-based features apply that only answer for the individual components of the assemble. There's nothing to prevent with the putting of parts of the assembly on the same drawing and even in the same sheet. Some of you have place exploded view of the assembly on the first sheet and then the detail each of them on the same sheet with the view of the multiple sheets, single drawing file. But documents are several individual parts or assemblies. This usually is the case for only with the simple parts. The assembly made with the several complex plastic parts could be done this way because single complex plastic part often requires multiple sheets of its own. Dimension assembly feature for one of the more difficult questions you must answer. For the dimension assembly feature for the assembly with the drawing, even the reference of making cutting of the measuring often takes place in the sum of the kind of the fixture more. Makes excellent reference for this most situation where they might consider the design fixture of the assembly enables you the measurement of the fixture reference for either one of the parts for the other fixture itself. This would require a drawing that acts on the app qualification requirements including the fixture reference and the drawing the best done as a higher level of assembly rather than hitting the fixture even the configuration of the product level of assembly. Measuring reference planes is a assembly. It is fine for design, but there is no reference plane for the manufacturing floor unless they are a physical face of the fixture created for the purpose of the making measurement and the measure. It spans multiple parts, and keep in mind that both the individual parts of assembly have the tolerance of the must consider. The assembly cuts are often created with the 3D cutaways. View Solidworks can create a section within view of the section cut in perpendicular with a sheet of the paper working around it to make a cut and the assembly configuration of the display with the cut assembly. Use the isometric view. Another method is use the 3D rotate function to temporarily rotate the view and select something you can see the review and select results parametric. Applying the document drive to the custom property. When you have the drawing multiple parts and the assembly you control which of the document drive with the custom properties. Use the title block for the sheet. If you have multiple sheets, you can different models driven properties for the different sheets. For example, to use the feature, right-click the sheet with the feature manager and the graphics window button on the other items of the format. View the display with the right menu mouse button shown in Figure 3D1. Make sure the gray area on the right menu mouse button is labeled sheet rather than view. Select the property for the menu. The sheet property for the dialog box will appear shown in Figure 31. So we went to sheet and we've displayed it as a sheet and we've used it as a custom default values model shown. Click the drop down list of the lower left hand corner labeled the view with the custom property value from the model showing and to choose any of the view with the other current sheet with the current sheets. This could be a single part of it as assembly. Remember also with the link of the property can choose the link with the property of the current document drawing. Model specified with the sheet property for the component with an annotation with attached with the select with the component. You can find in the settings and in the link property dialog box figure 30.2. Clicking with the link of the property icon with a note with the property manager. Link to property, custom property, the current document, model, file, selection, chapter, property name, evaluated, link to property. Linking a note, custom properties on one of various documents, using multiple page templates. Assembly drawings often become the multiple page documents. For the creation of these drawings, you should have multiple page templates available when you need them. Most of the aspects of single page, multiple page templates are the same, such as custom property setup of the format, building, adding, gives you some of the options about which you need to be aware. On the web, 2-sheet template in second page format, you have the chapter assembly drawing folder for BS2 sheet drawing document dump template, B2C SolidWorks format. You can use the page 2 format any page other than the page 1. Generally, in page 2 formats are just minimal versions of the page 1 formats, removing the information that might be considered redundant on every page of the drawing, allowing more space for the drawing content. Figure 33 shows the page 1 and page 2 formats. Tip: remember the access page of the multiple-page drawing with the tabs on with the drawing feature manager with the area with the bank easy with the manager with the large package with the paper the drawing with the multiple sheet drawing with the same size sheet with every sheet. Every company has its own standard conventions, customs, and needs. Take page sheet with the template for the page one template file with these steps. Up with the new drawing you for the sheet format that would like to make into the page 2 format. Right click inside of the sheet, but there are often predefined views of the actual format. Select edit sheet formats from the menu. Edit the format to suit your needs. This might include the removing, adding a line with the border, removing the link notes with the resize of the moving the logo or other items. Use the note drawing shown with the current page X and Y and both X for the current sheet, Y total sheet available with the properties you can link from the drawing from notes. When you have the format for UA you want to save the special location within your library for drawing format should be avoid putting customized documents in the folder Solidworks installation directory with the default folders created with the Solidworks folder. For the example, you can put with the format documents in D drive physical separate with the device from the Windows operating system is installed in folder D library formats. This ensures that installing or uninstalling Solidworks the operation system would not delete overwrite your customized documents. On the website, if you want to study examples of the formats, refer to download material assembly drawing formats. Using views of special assembly functions. SolidWorks have some of the drawing view type special functionality when you assemble the main ones for the alternate position views explode through the exploded views, not such as the function with the drawing of the broken out section views and section views with altering hatching. Using alternating hatching. Position view. Alternating position is available only for view of the assembly. The show the assembly is in two different positions, not from different viewpoints that require an assembly that move. This is another type of view type. Does not create a new view, but alters an existing view. Figure 30.4 show the property manager interface with the alternate position view sample view that creates and ways to represent the drawing feature manager of the create alternating position view. Ensure that you have an assembly with the active drawing that can have multiple positions. Click the alternating position view between the drawing toolbar, choose the insert drawing view alternating position, then select alternate position view. Next click in the drawing view, which would be add an alternating position property manager shown in figure 34. Will prompt you selecting existing configuration, alternating position to create a new configuration. You can choose the new configuration of the model window will appear. The new configuration will be controlled, and you will be required to reposition parts and assembly the alternating position shown with a different line from the same view but the same orientation as the original. Alright, shows alternating position. Best way to create this view is either to create two configurations used exclusively with the alternating position of the two configuration where the note of the word won't be moved. They suppress them with the main idea and ensure that these configurations remain in the same position, or change initially knowing that the alter the drew volume. To delete alternating position, view select the drawing feature manager and press delete. Creating views of the exploded assembly. Show the assembly drawing pulled out of it. Create a view of the exploded assembly. Assemblies are often depicted with the parts pulled apart with a structured way to illustrate that this assembly most simply with the parts within the assembly. Exploded assemblies can be shown without assemblies using the balloons and the numbers of the corresponding with the bill and material table. Here's the workflow of creating an exploded view with the open and assembly. Download the rear derailleur solid assembly for the example. The click configuration manager at the top of the feature manager area with the expected configuration when explode. Right click with the configuration. Select the next new exploded view. From the menu, you're allowed to have more than one explode with the feature per configuration. Figure 35 show the property manager for the exploded command. Select the component to explode the way with the rest of the part. Usually parts of the axle made with a concentric made perpendicular away from the other parts made with a flat and flat. Coincidence, select the parts to be exploded together in one move and group with the setting selection box. Make selections of the setting box, not fussy, or making selections of the mates with other purposes does not matter. If you select the face or an edge, SolidWorks will understand that you want to select the part. Figure 35 shows starting to create an exploded view of an assembly. So you've clicked on the explode view. You can explode step type, settings for the direction, distance 1, rotation, angle, options, auto space, comments for the drag, selecting sub-assemblies, showing rotation ring, reuse sub-assembly exploded. If you need to move the parts in the direction other than the X, Y, and Z, use the exploded direction box immediately below the bringer components for the exploded section in the box and the settings panel. Figure 36 for the exploded direction contains a temporary axis. As an alternative, you can drive with the manipulator balls on the face of the edge of the road, find the exploded direction. Selecting the rivet to explode. So we've exploded the rivets in the direction with a distance and a ring. With the rivet, select the direction, establish drag one over the area of the triad, appear of the graphic wheel, the type of the number of the distance box with the property manager that brings up the ruler along with the judge explode the distance of the action, produce the first, explode the step of the exploded set, spin the box. The property manager can rename and edit, delete with the exploded tab. Make edits, you can explode with the step, and some of the feature managers just select the step without editing control. Select what enables you with the change to any of the which we create the step. And use the orange arrows to change the exploded distance or rotation. Figure 37 to show the completed explode for the assembly. When you're finished with the exploded command, click with the green checkmark icon to accept the results. The completed rights explode with the display with the exploded view with the indented done with the configuration with which to start with the explode collapse and explode with the right click with the owner with the configuration substitute for the collapse with which will allow with the toggle back and forth between the collapse and explode view with the other option with the animated collapse and collapse. The option you with the order and explode with the steps appear when the configuration manager with the default speed. After using animated explode collapse option, make sure to turn off the animation controller that appears in the upper left hand corner of the Solidworks window. The controller allows you to control save the animation, but allows you to block with performing other actions in the assembly until you turn it off. Adding exploded lines. Exploding lines in 3D sketch line with a show of the explode path of the parts, explode view for the assembly, explode blue. Fly out toolbars and assembly toolbar by the default include with the three icons explode view with exploded line sketch. Conserve the edit smart exploded line sketch. Use the route and line of the part of the exploded line sketch. You simply click with the feature if you want to connect with the exploded line. Use the arrows that appear to determine the direction of the sketch that should connect with the part. The click of the right mouse button to accept the line. Move to the next, and then process to show in figure 30.8. In case you were wanting to move a line of the route line feature that has created, move the cross over the line. Two small arrows will appear showing figure 39. This will enable you to move the line. You might think that SolidWorks won't be able to create these lines automatically from the data exploded view, and it can extend with the smart explode lines. To create smart explode lines, right click on the exploded view with the configuration manager, select smart explode lines. These create is shown in figure 30.10. Moving route line as it is created. Adding smart exploded lines to an exploded assembly view. Showing exploded view. Best view orientation. You with the exploded view with the drawing is usually not one of the standard views. The create with the custom view orientation, then you with the mount to orientate the view in the way that you want an assembly display with the drawing. Then open the assembly and press the space bar to open the view orientation bar with the new view button name with the new view orientation. Now you can place the new view on the drawing, show the view with the exploded state with the right click inside of the view, both of it, but of any part geometry, select the property tree with the show and the exploded state option shown in figure 30.11. Show the drawing view properties, you've now exploded it, and the state. Creating section views. Section views are common enough for the part drawing with a section assembly. You must consider the other things, such as not cutting fasteners and shafts. Create the assembly section for the same option. You can either the part section, partial section, line section, broke out section, assembly sections can even be created within the model dragged onto the drawing sheet with the view palette. Excluded parts from the section view. When creating a section view, the explode of the part of the brain section figure 30.12. Show the section scope tab of the section view dialog box to enable you to do this. You can also access the dialog box editing section view through the section view property manager by clicking more properties button on the bottom and then choosing the section scope tab. Figure 30.12 shows exploding bolts in from the section view of the assembly. Isometric sections. The easier to create an isometric section view with the first create a regular section view with the right click on it with the isometric section view from the menu. Play for the new view, figure 30.13. Undo the setting of the view back for the regular section with the view right click on the view. Select the remove the isometric view. Aligning the view. In this case, section line was slightly angled, but you would like to have the section view laid out with a straight with an orientated view with a particular way of the selection edge that you might want to be horizontal and vertical, assuming that there's one that you have used for the sketch line or axis sheet with the menu with the sketch for the tool with the allowing drawing view with the select the horizontal edge and vertical edge. Remember that you can always rotate the view on the sheet with the rotate button on the heads up the view toolbar with the drawing 3D function. Display with the dialog box when you type it in a specific value. Adjust the hatching. The default hatching may not be right side of the parts of your building. If you need to adjust the hatching side of the pattern or angle, just click on the section part Area hatch filled property manager will appear. Figure 3014 show the property of the hatch section view. You can change the hatching for each of the part component body of the entire view just by selecting the enclosed region. Make sure the right selection will apply to the drop down menu before exit the area hatch property manager. Hatching is assigned with a material file on the top of the Solidworks feature manager for each of the part. Each material has its own cross match. As material is not formally assigned to a part with the default hatching is set in the tools option document property material properties setting. Default ANSI 131 iron brickstone. The default can be set with the part templates that is also with the default density that is established and shown figure 3015. Using area hatch fill property manager. Solid, parameter, degrees, material crosshair, apply component layers, option apply changes immediately. 3015, change the default density in the crosshatch, document properties, material density, areas to hatch at, hatch, ANSI, scale, angle, degree. Broken out section view. Broken out section view of the type of the alters existing view rather than creating a new view. They also require the closed loop sketch for the define the section of the broken out section view of the view are very useful. When instead of the parts are inside of the housing, you want to show the inside part without hiding the housing. Of course, you can use the broken out section view of any of the single part of the internal detail. Broken out section view acts like a cut through the creative of the drawing view, and any face of the creative with the cut or hatch. Single 3016 shows a simple assembly view of the broken out section view. On the left, the view of the drive in the sketch, in this case, the closed loop spine. On the right, with the finished view, you cannot create a broken out section view by using existing detail section alternate position views. Alright, broken out section requires you to specify the depth of the cut. You can also use the edge, select the different view of the distance, specify the depth in the case. In this case, the broken out section, the depth is on the screen. Regular section, the depth is measured with the distance perpendicular to the section line. Drawing of the closed loop with the broken out section view with an issue with the existing view, either with or without pre-drawn closed loop below, but the pre-drawn that must select the if the before clicking in the broken out section bottom. Button the drawings toolbar, accessing command with choosing insert drawing view broken out section. Broken out section view is created with a freehand sort of boundary even without drawn manually. Two basic workflows exist in creating a broken out section. My preferred method is using spline line loop as indicated here. Click on the broken out section button. Solidworks will automatically present you with a spline sketch tool. Sketch the closed loop spline. Select any excluded component section scope. Select the depth of the cut. Pre-select the loop method is using the non-spline cutting loops as indicated here. Sketch a loop using either spline, non-spline sketch elements. Sketch a loop with the cross-select with the relaxed lasso selection, right mouse button method such as a select chain. Click on broken out cut selection bottom. Select any excluded component section scope and select the depth of the cut. Selecting the depth after you make the section's scope selection, the next step of the depth of the cut. You can do this in several ways. Broken out section view is usually cut to the center of the hole with the circular edge of the selected. If you know the depth of the cut you want to make, you can enter in the distance value, of course, of the raise the question distance from what the answer seems to be from the geometry of the from which the view the closest to the user. In some situation, you want to cut the center of the particular through of the feature of the upper edge for easier. Simply select geometry for the drawing view. It could be the same view of the broken out section, the different view of the same document part in assembly. For example, 3017 show the property manager interface with the depth of the cut is set. In this example, the edge of the shaft of the view of the right has been selected. It tells Solidworks that the cut should go through the center of the shaft, although another possibility is show temporary axis is shown figure 1317, the selection axis to the center of the shaft. 3017, setting the depth of the broken out section depth. Editing the view. At this point of the view is finished, note that you may choose to edit the views in some way, such as the change of the sections, depth of the section, scope of the so on. Figure 3018 shows how the broken out section view is positioned. Drawing feature manager for the list of the modification existing drawing view. Broken out section with the right menu mouse button is also shown. Selecting edit definition display with the property manager for figure 1317. 3017, select editing sketch enables you to change the section spline shape. Selecting property display with the dialog box shown figure 3018. This contains an option underlying over original view as well as the broken out section modification original view. Only the section scope tab is added by broken out section view. The rest of the options are for normal view properties. Heading broken out section view properties. You can go to the view properties, and when you go to broken out section view of your drawing properties. Using color and assembly drawing views, you can apply the same color with the wireframe display with the drawing that you have applied with the individual parts of the assembly window color of the drawings. Have to extinguish one part for the another assembly, while the alternative is to look at the screen full of black lines. On the other hand, sometimes if the light colors of the show up well when the part shaded on the screen don't look good when used in wireframe line width of the white sheet. Also, when the use of the part and appearance within someone are using more realistic material display for the part of the part colors range with the gray with a flex surface with aluminum or steel. Still, if you want to set the parts up with abstract contrast colors, it helps you to distinguish one part from another. An assembly model with a drawing of the appearance of the even realistic reflective appearance that have colors assigned to them. They get a shiny red steel part with the realism far as important with the ability to tell one part from another, so abstraction of the colors don't realistic with all they were often very helpful. To make assembly drawings, use the part color for the setting indicated with the bottom cursor of the figure 30, 19 tools option, decurement, property detailing using model color, hidden line removed, hidden line visible in drawing. You need to specify the document property saying in the drawing, hidden line removed, stands of the hidden line removes, hidden line V, hidden line visible. This is worth repeating even though the setting exists both the assembly and the drawing. Okay. Even though there is a setting apart for the setting with the same color for the shape of the wireframe, the only thing that matters is the terms getting of the color onto the drawing using the color wire model coloring setting the drawing document properties. Setting up a drawing with a large assembly, you can several tactics to try and minimize overhead workings with large data sets of the Solidworks drawings. You have several options when working with it to improve the performance of the large assembly drawings. Some of the questions should be employed at a level of the assembly you will only in the drawing. Alright, using detached drawing. Detached drawings don't have 3D document files loaded in the memory, so they just work with geometry as drawn. They can be beneficial in two situations. First, to speed up the large assembly drawings, or second, when they have the drawing but do not have the part with the assembly files. When we set up the detached drawing before deciding to opening the drawing without the parts detached drawings, use the symbol at the top of this paragraph to denote their special status both over the window and explore open dialog and drawing feature manager. Alright, attached e-drawing convenient is one when you wanted to send somebody a SolidWorks drawing, but you don't need it or want it to give them access to actual 3D model data. However, you first have to save it as a detached drawing. For the detached drawings, choose File, Save As type drop-down list to show make a 3020. Select as detached drawing. You cannot perform some of the drawing operations with a detached drawing included in these. Crop views, break views, section views, alternate position, relative views, insert metal items, detached drawings also cannot be line weights, just like other SolidWorks drawings. When the view is needed to be updated, the view becomes a hatch. When you need to be loaded when you need to load the model to update, change one of the operations that require the part of the data to be present. Right click on the inside of the select load model from the menu. When SolidWorks determines that you don't need to load the model, the software may prompt you to do this. Other options: load the model from the file open dialog box. You can only add certain types of view of the parts on the assembly, auxiliary, projected section, broke out section, annotation, reference dimensions, the detached drawing. So there is a certain amount of work you can actually do with a detached drawing. To remove these limitations, you can load the model. If you save the drawing detached, load the model, then save the drawing, close it, and then the next time you open it, it will be detached. In other words, after you save the drawing as detached, it remains detached until you save it as a regular drawing. To do this, just select File, Save As, File Type, drop-down list, and select Drawing. Further, be aware that Control-Q, Force Rebuild, will load the model without warning, while Control-B, Rebuild, at least gives you a warning. Also, if your drawing is linked to multiple parts, loading one will load all. Working with line weight drawings. Line weight drawings are somewhat similarities. Line weight assemblies without line weight drawings. SolidWorks loads only as much model data as needed. SolidWorks needs more data as loads it. Helps assembly drawings to open more quickly, but some functions may be slower. You cannot mix the benefits of the lightweight drawings with the benefits of the detached drawing. Using line weight settings of the drawing works just like in line weight setting in the assembly. Right-click of the view of the enter of the graphic window feature manager and resolve the light line weight. It's shown figure 3021. Doing this for one of the views sets all of the views to lightweight. If the assembly behind the view this lightweight now views itself, it can resolve the assembly by choosing set lightweight to resolve the right menu bounce button. Set resolve the lightweight. Alright, your speed back drawing. Speed back is a derived assembly configuration type that uses select the geometry specified with the display and amount of the data Solidworks needed to load with the complex assembly with the goal of speeding up the loading of the working in general. Control speed pack. Right click on existing configuration on an assembly or select add speed pack. This uses the selection techniques to select faces, bodies, reference geometry, sketches, curves to be displayed as part of the speed pack. Your section will display the assembly drawings in place of the full configuration geometry. Quick include functionality automatically include the geometry base of your selected position more to less slider. If selecting more or less detail for the views, specify in the speedback property manager interface shown in 3020. Once created, speed pack is listed in the assembly configuration manager on the configuration like drive configuration, but a special pack is shown in figure 3022. Ghost graphics are anything that is not selected and included in the box. The ghost graphics are visible but not selectable. If you remove the ghost graphics option, speed pack property manager, only items have the included with the visible with the speed pack in use either with the assembly or with the drawing. Figure 3023 shows the model with and without this ghost graphics. If we want to use a speed pack drawing, speed pack must include edges, width, one, and dimension. Anything over the part ghost data will be shown on the gray default button. Sometimes change to another convenient color such as black to ease the existing speed pack. Sometimes change to another convenient color such as black. Existing speed pack for assembly. Right click on the view, select properties. In configuration information, use the name configuration option. Select the derived configuration of the speed pack. Using draft quality view. Draft quality views are another way to speed up large assembly drawings. Figure 3024 show the difference between the draft quality view on the left and the high quality view on the right. Each view starts with the draft quality view of the view of the training with the draft quality of the high quality. The selecting setting will no longer be available. You can find the draft quality high quality view setting with the view property manager. Select the view of the property manager will appear on the left of the display style panel. This will enable you to change with the wireframe and the shape of the display modes. The high quality and the draft quality toggles are not in the property manager panel. The view is already high quality material mode. After you switch a view for the high quality, you can switch it into the back draft quality. You can change the default from the setting of the system operation, the tools, option of the drawing, display style, the display quality for the new views. As might imagine, this is not a template setting, this is only a system option. To turn the draft quality, you first must make sure your system set the draft quality view for this. Simply switches the hidden line, removal of the hidden line, visible shade in black. Keep in mind that easy to confuse cosmetic thread display with the display style with both the toggling high quality and the draft quality. When you're just looking for those features, you must settle on the first one you see with this label. High quality views store detailed information. Use zoom operations. Drawing the low quality views had to go back in the model and get the data. Thus, the high quality views take more memory the faster the zoom in, zoom out, but have to make sure hardware can handle extra memory requirements. Alright, tutorial, creating a simple assembly drawing. The tutorial guides you through creating a simple assembly drawing. Create a new drawing with a new dialog box. Inches B Bible template. No views drawing document. File indicate if the template document has not been predefined. Select the default Solidworks template. You need to verify that the template uses the third angle rather than the first angle projection. Any easy way to do this was switching the drafting standards ISO angle size in tools, options, document property drafting. Standards, the automatic model view interface appear with the property manager. Click on the red X icon to cancel out. Spin the task pane to activate the view palette tab. Looks like a drawing icon. Click the ellipse button. Proud of the assembly name, standard SF casting assembly style. Assemble the view palette shown figure 3025. Drag the back of the view on the drawing. Note that when you stack the links of the view, it does not resize automatically regardless of the setting of the tools option. Drawing automatically scale the new drawing views. Delete any view created. View the drawing. Open window. Explorer. Browse the sum of the drawing and the tool of the views. Over there, you can use the method. They are equivalent to standard view 3D view tool. This time the views automatically size. Select the front view, the chain to the back view, the view of the orientational panel of the view property manager. Note for the rest of the views chain to reflect the new parent view. We will give the warning about this change. Zoom in and back view, chain with the view to show the tangent edges with the front of the view display that you can also make with the change of the right menu mouse button, tangent edge section, click. Alternate position view with the toolbar button, type the name of the property manager, new configuration, click on the green checkmark. Solidworks will open the assembly model window. Rotate handle 90 degrees, click with the green checkmark with the icon. Solidworks will return the drawing, show the new position of the dash font, and show configure 26. Place an isometric view on the drafting chain with the display mode to make it in shaded view. Right click with the inside of the view but appears away from the part. Select the property drawing view, property dialogues. Appear display view, properties tab is shown. Figure 3027. Make sure view is a set of the default configurations with the default display state. Select the shows explode with the model break state option. Drawing view property dialog box. You've changed the views. Alright, the bottom line, working with assembly drawings requires many of the same skills that work with regular drawings, but with less dimensioning, much more pictorial visualization capabilities. Sometimes you must use the unique table of assembly drawings to get the job done. Master creating exploded view, one of the assemblies provided with the download material of the chapter one of your own drawing and exploded lines. Use a template with a second page for the created new drawing. I suggest the template mastering 2-page B size. Create a drawing assembly which you create with exploded view. The first view should be automatically populated with the 3 standard views and an isometric. Show the isometric view of this exploded state and apply balloons to all the parts. Place the bill of material tables over the drawing that show the item numbers of each of the balloon. Mastering, starting with the drawing with the last practice exercise, switch to the second sheet with a click of the standard 3 view icon, view layout tab, select one of the parts of the assembly. If you have not opened any of the parts individually, you will have to browse for it. Place the views of the drawing, add isometric view, put some custom property within part, make sure the title block on the second page format picks up some of the part information. Alright, we're moving on to part 5, using advanced specialized techniques.